Kacie, what's up? Thanks
What's
for
up?
thanks for jumping on the pod today. What's going on?
Of course. Man, no, nothing. I got back from the grocery store, picked up my daughter from school, just chilling. I need to meal prep, but yeah.
What is okay, it's Monday, I guess, yeah. When do you usually
Mm.
do your meal prep? You do it like are you a weekend kind of person, midweek, both?
Okay, so my shift is 4 on, 4 off at work. So it hits everywhere, anywhere and everywhere.
Whatever day your Sunday is.
Yep, exactly.
Wicked. Wicked. That's
So
pretty good though. So 4 on 4, you got 4 days off.
yeah, working half the year.
That's good. So you must do like a lot of two-a-days and shit, right?
Yeah, I try to. I try to. So I like hitting CrossFit up, and then also when I was training with High Rocks and everything, I'd be running and doing all that fun stuff.
Do
And
you
then
train while you're working? Because you probably work like long shifts, right?
I do work long shifts, they're 12-hour shifts, but we can't really train out there. It's in a refinery setting, and yeah, we can't really do that.
Do you travel back and forth to home, or you're like out there?
Huh? Wait, what?
Do you like do you sleep like in your bed when you're working those shifts, or do you sleep like out there or wherever there is?
Oh yeah, no. I come home. Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll come home and sleep and get as much recovery as I can. I alternate back and forth from days to nights, so the recovery side of my journey is a little tough sometimes, but we're getting there. We're getting a good routine going.
Nah, who needs recovery? It's overrated.
Eh.
Cool. Well, I asked you to actually be on today to kind of talk about your journey, your
Yeah,
experiences, your whole thing going on because I know like we've been friends for a while. We've actually, well, I guess full transparency, we actually worked together a little bit. You
yeah,
were a client of mine nutritionally for I don't know, probably like 6 to 8 months, something like that.
yeah. I think so.
But yeah, I know that you dabbled in CrossFit a little bit, just a little tiny bit. Then you stepped away, and then you're back, and I just want to hear the whole journey. So tell me how you got started with CrossFit.
Yeah, no. So I tried CrossFit back in 2014. And I only did it for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
I was extremely overweight. Like at my heaviest, I was like 235, 240. Like I was big, and I wanted to do something about it, but there was like I didn't know how to, and I was like, oh, CrossFit, it's extreme. People are getting all these great results. I'm gonna jump in, and so I did, and then it was just absolutely no. It was a train wreck. It was really bad, um, and I quit. I quit at
Why
that
was it
point in
so
my
bad?
life. Huh?
Why was it so bad? What happened?
It was mainly just I couldn't breathe, I couldn't move, I was sore. I was already I kind of wanted to go to CrossFit because I was strong, right? I was already a little naturally strong. So those workouts I wasn't so bad at, but anything that came to like cardiovascular or like running,
Mm.
especially running. We used to run like a 400-meter warm up before class, and I just died every single time.
Mm.
And after that, I ended up like I slightly injured my back, so I was in a bad way. Like I didn't want to move, and I just quit. I quit and then went back to what I'd been doing, which was nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing. And then nutrition was a big part of me being the way that I was because I had no idea of anything. I was clueless when it came to food. My thing was like when I started working out, I was like, oh, protein. And then I heard someone say, oh, well, a woman shouldn't have more than 50 grams of protein in a sitting. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just listening to all this advice that's not helpful at all. And so I was like under eating, and then I would binge eat, and just it was a horrible combination of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So after I quit that in 2014, I didn't do anything athletic really. I did play rec softball, but I didn't play in high school, so I was technically trying to teach myself how to play baseball without ever doing it before. Um, and so that was the extent of my athletic ability at the time. And and every time I'd play softball, I would be drinking, and I drank so much beer because everybody's having a good time. We're playing ball and we're drinking beer. That's just
It's
what we do.
Tuesday. Fuck it. Let's
That's
go.
it. And so after that. I stopped softball and I ended up, I was with my or my husband at the time, and we decided, hey, let's have a kid. And so I had my daughter in 2016. And about a year after she was born, I was at a family get together, and everybody takes pictures, and they took a picture of me holding her, and I was just like, whew, like, man, you really let yourself go, like, and you're not healthy, and you have this beautiful little baby to take care of and to be a good example for, and I was doing none of that at all. And like a typical meal for me was like, hey, let's go to McDonald's. I'm gonna get a Big Mac, a large fry, a Coke, a straight up Coke, not even diet, and I need 4 packets of ranch, please. Okay.
Mm.
And that would be a meal of mine back then. And
Yep.
so it was just packing on the pounds. Like I said, I was extremely heavy. And so after I realized that, I said, I want to be a good example for my daughter. I don't want her to ever grow up and feel the way I do about myself. I want her to be able to be active and athletic and be confident and have great self-esteem. And so that's when I kind of kick-started, all right, what am I going to do about it? And then once I, came to that realization, one of my really good friends, her name's Lauren Miller. I've known her since I was born, and we're really good friends. But she had her pro card in bodybuilding, and she would do nutrition for people, you know. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get one of her 12-week programs, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm just gonna do it. And so I got with her, and it was, it's expensive to get that kind of help, it's well worth it. It is expensive, but it's well worth it for anybody trying to do it. Getting with her, it opened up my mind to so many things I had no idea about. I didn't even know that like vegetables are carbohydrates. Like
Okay.
I didn't know any of this. I was just like, oh, what's a carb? Oh, bread. And no, this is a carb too.
Mm.
And just the smallest basic things that, like you said earlier, you were like, some things that I just kind of know and I imagine people do. It's like, no, like I didn't do nothing. I had no idea. And so
Mhm.
after spending, another thing about me, I don't like spending money. I'm like, you know? And so I spent, a good chunk of money on this because I wanted to do it. And I knew if I did, I would actually commit to it. So after doing her 12-week program, I think I lost like, let's see, in 12 weeks, I think I lost like 30 pounds. Like it was a very good amount of weight. And the first week into doing that meal plan, I lost 7 pounds, I think.
Mhm.
And then I was like, all right, what am I going to do to move? What am I going to do for fitness? And another good friend of mine, Keisha, she was trying to get us to go to the CrossFit gym. And I was like, you know what? We've done it before. I think that would be good. I know that's what is going to get me there quickest. And so that's when I started CrossFit, and that was back in 2017.
Mhm.
And ever since then, I've been, I don't know, it was so different going from 14 to 17. I was determined and committed and disciplined, and it's just all I wanted. And after the first year, I was like, I really want to coach. I really want to be a part of this organization and help other people, because I was at a point to where I thought I couldn't and I quit. And I want to be the person that says, "Hey, you don't have to. You can keep going. You can push yourself to be better every day." And so I coached for a couple years, and but yeah, so I mean that's kind of like how I got started into CrossFit. There's been ups and downs. I mean, um, everybody has bad things happen in their lives, and we go through. Everybody does.
Mhm.
And so I didn't make the best choices a couple years into being in CrossFit. I got really heavy into the bottle. I was going through depression, anxiety, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, it's fine because I'm working out. I'm working out. Like, I'm still
Mhm.
healthy.
Work hard, play
And
hard. I get it.
yeah, exactly. And at that point, I lost down to 160 pounds, and it wasn't a healthy 160. I was like a skeleton. It was horrible. I actually think I sent you the picture a long time ago when we first started working together,
Hmm.
and it was just extremely unhealthy. And so, let's see. There's so many things. There's so many things that's happened in my life.
Cool. Well, I do have so many questions, so we can just kind of go one thing at a time.
Yeah, you go.
I'm really curious, like you going into CrossFit in 2014 and then going back into it in 2017. Was there anything different about like you physically doing the workouts, or was it only like the mindset shift that happened?
Honestly, it was the mindset. It
Okay.
was the mindset of why are you doing this and finding your why, right? And in that moment, my why was I want to be that good representation for my daughter. I want her to know we're going to be a healthy family. We are going to be active. We're going to be functional and just be happy and confident with ourselves. So I
Yeah.
think that was the big change right there.
Wicked. Okay, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, and that's what I was thinking. But I was trying to think of my own experience. Like I kind of had a similar thing with CrossFit. I actually tried CrossFit for the first time in 2009. Um,
Wow.
my dad was like an early adopter. He didn't really stick with it.
Hmm.
Um, n- like he's always fit, but he never really subscribed to like, oh, I'm a CrossFitter because he was like a garage gym type dude. Like, he did his own stuff and he followed HQ programming from like the CrossFit website or the main site. But I remember he took me into the garage one day. He was like, "This is CrossFit," and I think the workout it was something like it was just one of those workouts where like you and I now would be like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking awesome," but as a newcomer, a coach would be like, "This is the worst day that you could possibly like choose for your first CrossFit class." It was something like 120 strict pull-ups, or like it was some
Oh
bullshit like
god.
that. And he was just like, "Yeah, you can do it." And I couldn't do one strict pull-up, so I remember just like struggling for like 10 minutes trying to get one. I was like, "This is stupid. CrossFit sucks. I hate it." And then I didn't touch it ever again. And then I kind of went through the phase of like, um, seeing CrossFitters do butterfly pull-ups and like those are dumb, those are stupid. But then I eventually kind of got back into it and I was like, I wish I kept up with it in 2009 because
Oh
now I'm
yeah.
in such a good place. But of course, it's hard to compare. Like I did it 12 years later. Like it was a night and day difference. But for me, I think it was just like a maturity thing. But it's kind of crazy you could go through such like a big transformation mentally in like 3 years. And I guess in a way you probably do grow up, right? Because if you have like a kid, that's a big grow up.
Yes, it's a huge like reality check. Like
Yeah.
it's not just about you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So so when you decided to coach, because I think we were kind of on like the same timeline in terms of like it was about a year, maybe a little bit less after I started getting into CrossFit. That I was like, I have to coach this shit. This is fucking
Mhm.
awesome. I need to go back to the community to pay back. I want to be involved 100%. Um, did you find that there was any shift in like whether it was like your mentality, your commitment, your discipline, or whatever when you became a coach?
I think uh, I think the biggest shift was feeling that responsibility of having others' health in your hands and helping them to actually get to where they want to be. And it wasn't a bad shift. Like, yeah, you have all these extra responsibilities and you're in charge of the well-being of these people while they're here. And we're doing some, pretty dangerous stuff sometimes. If you're not careful, you could end up getting hurt. So I think, yeah, that probably just the responsibility of having those people and having them trust me enough to say, hey, okay, if she says this, I'm going to try it. And the best part was like when I'd say something and then immediately, I mean, they would get it. And you could just see the happiness and I don't know. It just brings me back to when I was there and when I needed that coach and that push and sometimes just one word can make it all click for you. And that was coaching CrossFit was probably what I've been most passionate about
Hmm.
in my life, and really just helping other people see what they're capable of.
Hmm.
And it was
Did
just
that
amazing.
did that help with your anxiety and depression at all?
Yes, definitely. Oh, 100%. 100%. It was my go-to. It was my escape from what I was dealing with. And I mean, I was always at the gym. I coached I coached all of the evening classes. So I think it was like 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, sometimes 7:30. And so that was my I can make it through the day because I know I'm going here. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be around all these people, wonderful people. I mean, CrossFit communities are amazing. I'm not saying all of them, but like everyone that I've been with has been incredible, and the people are incredible. It's like a big family. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just so comfortable, and it definitely helped with that side of it. And then just the friends that you make, and they help you with everything you're going through in life,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So definitely a big time help.
Yeah,
For
I always found it really cool because, like, coaching classes, it was always one of those things that you could walk in, and I always said that I could go in with like the shittiest attitude. Not that I was walking in like, fuck you guys, you all suck. Like, I hope you have a terrible class. Like, but I'd be like, oh, I'm having a really bad day, whether I'm frustrated or angry, whatever. But like, I am. You're not gonna see it. I'm sure everyone's like, what the fuck's wrong with him today? Like, I'm hiding it. No one knows that I'm mad.
Mhm.
But every time I walked into a class, like it would be probably about a minute after it started, I would forget everything that happened before, and I would be like smile on my face the rest of the class, and I would leave like a million times happier than when I walked in, no matter
Oh,
what day. I could have been going in there happy, and I would still be happier going out the other end. So it's always an interesting impact that it has on the coaches, and I think this is kind of not even to do with nutrition at all, but I think that a lot of athletes don't realize the impact that they have on the coaches because I think they believe that, maybe not believe, but they probably think of it as like a one-way street. They get a lot out of their coaches, right? That's the value that they get by paying memberships. They get coached, they get the vibe of the coach, they get cheer-led, all that kind of stuff, but they don't realize what they're actually giving back to the coach, right?
yes. Oh yeah, 100%. I've never thought of it that way, of people not understanding that. But yeah, it is like I love every single person that's ever come to the gym and I've been able to work with. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just brought some extra light to my life, especially when I needed it most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so when it came to like coaching, did you find, and maybe there's a better way to explain this, but this is how people have described it to me. Um, there's kind of like a theory that nobody likes a dentist with bad teeth, right? So I think there's this idea out there that if you are a CrossFit coach, you need to maybe not look a certain way, but there's a little bit of like leading by example sort of thing, right? So did you find that when you started coaching that you, maybe not necessarily because you were like teaching nutrition or anything, but you're like, hey, I'm a coach. I kind of got to get my shit together a little bit. I can't just like eat and drink like an asshole all the time because I need to be in a good example. Do you feel like that kind of happened at all, or were you kind of just like, no, fuck, I'm a coach now. I can eat and drink whatever I want?
No, yes, actually, I do, and I can tell you a time where I really felt slightly embarrassed. Was I was 100% CrossFit coaching, and I went to the bar, and I was out, drinking with my friends, having a good time.
Oh, we went to that bar. Okay, I was like, oh, she's getting set up on the barbell.
No,
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 not
just
that
the
bar.
bar. Okay.
The bottle. I went to the bar, and I was just, hanging out with friends, having a good time, and drinking a lot in excess, and smoking cigarettes, and just everything, right? And who do I run into? People from the CrossFit gym. And that, it's just like, in that moment I was like, whatever. But that starts to eat on you, and you're trying to set a good example, just like I said, like for my kid and for these people that I'm taking care of at the gym. And well, if Kacie is a CrossFit coach and she's out here drinking on the weekends and during the week, um, like there's no stopping me. And so if she does it, I can do it. I mean, she's in pretty decent shape, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was an exact time that I remember, and I still remember. It's my kid. And I still remember like that feeling I had, that oh, mm,
Mhm.
and thinking like you're having to hide a part of your life right now because you're embarrassed of it, and you know that if people knew about it, they would, and I don't care about what people think, but like if you put yourself, like you said, in a coach's position in training someone and saying, hey, you need to be healthy, like, and you're out here doing all this stuff.
Hmm.
it's hypocritical, and that started to help me, get out of that really low depression I was in, and using, I guess, alcohol as a crutch of
Hmm.
all of my emotions.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that kind of started it.
I guess that's another way that the members were secretly giving back to you, kind of calling you out on your bullshit a little
Yeah.
bit, unintentionally, and not actually having to say anything, just showing up at the wrong time.
Hmm.
Um, cool. So tell me a little bit about like your journey, like your nutritional journey. When that second time you go back to CrossFit, so this time like you're a little bit more serious, you become a coach. How did you kind of learn to regulate your nutrition? Like, what were some of the biggest changes that you probably made when you recommitted and started actually, well, let's just say like you were getting fitter?
Right. So are we talking about okay, so the second time going in, that was when I was with Lauren, right?
Hmm.
And after a while I branched off by myself because I understood macros and somewhat how they worked, right? I knew that I could do a 40-40-20 split, 40 protein, carbs, and then 20 fat, and I was good.
Yeah.
And okay, eating a calorie deficit, and we're good. Now, I did get to the point to where I was eating in the calorie deficit and I was eating what I needed to, but I hit a plateau. I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm doing everything I need and nothing is working. Nothing's working. And actually, I think that's when I kind of reached out to you,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, and you even asked me, you're like, why'd you choose to go with us? And I'm such a spontaneous person sometimes. And there was just something about this post on Facebook that I saw, and I was like, man, I feel drawn to this. Like, I need to get with this person. And then we did our program, and it taught me so much more about, okay, well, you're eating in a deficit, but now you have to think about how your body is now. You have more muscle versus fat. You actually are under eating by a drastic amount right now, and your body's going into starvation mode, and you're going to stay here forever. And so once we upped my calories and we like upped everything, I mean, the difference in night and day between, I think, maybe what, 3 weeks, maybe even 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my god,
Feel
like
so much better.
this is so much better. My workouts feel great. I'm not tired all the time, and it was just, I didn't have that extra knowledge that I needed to get me past like that part of my life, that part of my athletic life, I guess,
Hmm.
and getting me to know, hey, now let's start building on this. Let's start getting some more muscle and feeding yourself what you need to have. And so yeah, that's when I got with you, and yeah, that's what I said. Like, it made a huge difference, huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm gonna trust the process because this looks like a lot of food right now.
There is a little bit of like I have to trust you because this seems sus. Um,
Yes.
I feel like that's like almost a a ritual or no, that's not the right word. Milestone? No. It's just something that the CrossFitters have to go through. Like I feel like prop I don't I have no stats, I have no science on this, but 80% of CrossFitters probably desire to lose some body fat, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 pounds. Most people join the gym for some reason. It's not usually like, hey, longevity and health is the thing I'm looking for. Usually it's a little bit of, hey, I want to lose X amount of weight, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like, yeah, it's always starts off as
You
weight
okay?
loss, and then they do that, and then like, what's next, right? They do that, but then that's all they know. Then they just continue to eat in a calorie deficit, and they go like, I wonder why nothing else is changing. It's like, bro, you're eating 1,400 calories, and you're doing like 2 hour workouts, and you're sleeping 5 hours a night. Like, yeah, things need to change a little bit, and then you start to learn like, oh, when I'm not in a deficit, this is what I should be eating compared to
Hmm.
like how much I'm moving or how much I'm working out. And all of a sudden, when you actually start, like, you have that little shift in mindset of trying to get as skinny as possible to, I need to fuel my body. Even if you're still trying to get, like, I wouldn't say skinny, but like lean, you're still going for that lean aesthetic while working
Right.
out. You still have to do that in a way that fuels your body. And that's just something that I think every CrossFitter, it's a unlearnable lesson when like I can tell as many people as I want. They'll go, okay, yeah, whatever. But they have to actually like, almost experience it to be like, oh, this is one of those learnable lessons that I had to experience on my own. And like ChatGPT could tell me, Google could tell me, my best friend could tell me, I still wasn't going to actually metabolize that. I had to go and actually like hit that plateau myself and be like, and then start to increase my calories and go, oh, I can increase my calories and actually get jacked, and I'm not gonna turn like a thick boy. I'm just gonna naturally become like an athlete. And it's kind of unfortunate that we have to make that mistake, but
It is, but and especially for people who have been overweight, before, it's so terrifying
mhm,
to say, but what if I eat too much and I turn back into this person I fought so hard to stay away from, and it's extra hard for people like that who've suffered with weight issues and being overweight. And I completely agree. Though it's something you have to experience for yourself and know that, like, you know, making that change, it's like you can lead a horse. You can tell them exactly what they need to do, but they have to do that for themselves. It's kind of like the same thing with losing weight and then gaining back muscle and
mhm,
fueling your body. There's so much to it.
mhm. Yeah. Okay, so you did CrossFit. How long did you do? Because well, I guess not to get maybe too far ahead of ourselves, but you did CrossFit for a stint, and then you stepped away and got into powerlifting.
Yes, yes. So I think it was 2 years ago. I I was like hardcore CrossFit. I was getting it. I mean, my scores in the open were like really good. Like I was super excited, pumped, ready to go. And when that happens, something always happens. Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to get into more of the weightlifting side of it, still CrossFit, but also do weightlifting. And I started working with the Houston coach, Tim Swartz. And I was doing training at the CrossFit gym, by myself, just doing my training for weightlifting. And I was in the bottom of a clean, and I don't know why I did this, but I fell back with it instead of dumping it forward. And so when I did that, the bar was in my hands, right? And it jammed down on my wrist. So my elbow hit the ground and the bar, wah! And it was like 195 pounds, something like that. I heard a pop, and I was like, something's wrong. So I did not break my wrist, but the strain was so severe. I could not do CrossFit for, I think it was like 9 months. I couldn't even like get the flexion in my wrist that I needed to do a front
Mm,
squat. And so I was like, well, if I'm at the CrossFit gym, I'm going to continue trying to do these things, and I'm not going to let myself heal. I know I
mhm,
will. Like, that's just me. And so I think about a month after that happened, I joined a regular conventional gym, and I started doing regular gym workouts. And I had no idea what I was doing. CrossFitters, like a lot of CrossFitters, just let you know, if you see me at a regular gym, don't ask me what to do. I don't know like that much because
Murph,
all these
maybe?
people are working out. What?
Just do Murph? I don't know.
Yeah, right. And so I was just lost in there, and I actually ended up meeting my current boyfriend, and he is a power lifter, and he's a very good power lifter. And so he helped me learn how to do regular gym workouts and then combine it with the powerlifting and just get stronger. And so I was like, if I'm not doing CrossFit right now, because I know I'm most passionate about that, I'm going to work on all the weaknesses that I have strength wise. And a lot of that was like upper back strength, lower back strength, and anything I had to do with my back. I have had previous surgeries on my back.
Oh,
And so I just I dug in. I was like, all right, we're gonna do this, and I did powerlifting. And I never did a meet or anything, but I just did all the workouts to strengthen, my bench, deadlift, and squat. And I think within the year, my back squat jumped like 50 pounds. Like it was like crazy. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And so I just worked on that, strengthening all the things that I knew were weak, and that I knew once I got back into CrossFit would be so beneficial for me.
mm,
And so that's my little my little 2-year span of powerlifting. And then I decided one day, I was like, you know what? I think it's time.
Got
Like,
that itch.
it's just time. And I joined with a CrossFit gym here in Baytown, Bayway CrossFit, and I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's fantastic gym, great people. It's wonderful. I just and I'm a CrossFitter. That's what I do. And
It is kind of
I
funny how
say
you
that.
almost like have that identity. Hey,
Yeah.
is this Charlie?
But yeah, and so now that's why I'm back into CrossFit, and I've been
Mhm.
going for I think since December. I think since December now.
Nice. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Did you
And
find that that your nutrition changed? Like the way that I see it is like when CrossFitters get injured, that's like a nutritional nuclear bomb waiting to go off because usually it's
Mhm.
just like I'm only consistent when I'm going to the gym 5 days a week. If I ain't going to the gym 5 days a week, like
Right.
screw it, I'm eating everything. Like who cares? Why bother? Like did that happen at all, or did you stay consistent the whole time?
So I'm not going to say I stayed 100% consistent. I definitely, excuse me, I definitely going into powerlifting and regular gym, you eat differently than you would with CrossFit. I mean, you're burning less calories, but you're lifting more weight. So I was at the time just trying to put muscle on. So I was actually eating a little bit more than I would doing CrossFit. So I got bigger, and not in a bad way, but I was putting on muscle, and so it did affect. Uh, it affected what I ate, but my consistency, it was okay.
Mhm.
It's not like I 100% fell off all the time, but I will say I probably had a lot more cheat meals when I was powerlifting than I do now in CrossFit.
Mhm. Yeah. Did you find that, and I don't know, maybe this like I don't know if your significant other kind of brought this in, but I feel like with powerlifting because they have weight classes and all that stuff, it's more likely that they're like cutting, bulking, like that kind of thing, off season bulking. Did that any of that kind of get kind of passed on to you just naturally?
um, no, see, I wasn't doing powerlifting for competing.
Hmm.
And so I didn't really. I mean, I wanted to stay lean, but I wasn't doing. Like I said, I wasn't as consistent as I was in CrossFit with food. But I didn't have something to work for and work towards, which is not, I'm not good with. I have to have a goal set. And once I do, like I'm good to go. But with how I was in powerlifting, it's yes, I'm strong, but I'm not that strong compared to, other ladies of my body size
Hmm.
and what they're doing. I know how long it will take me to get there. I don't mind that time that it takes, but it wasn't what I was passionate about. I wanted to just get back to CrossFit. And so I didn't really dive into, okay, what weight class would I be? Where would I fall? I just really focused on, all right, let's see if I can lift it heavier now. Like it was, yeah. And so it was kind of more like I want to say the workouts were hard, and I like to be intense when I'm working out, but it wasn't there as if it was I guess like a life or death thing. It was, yeah, I'm going to push myself because I like pushing myself, but like I said, I had nothing to work towards. So what is this for? And you know, I enjoyed it, and I really did. And going to CrossFit now, it has helped me tremendously, especially with rig work, muscle ups, toes to bar, pull ups, all of that. I'm heavier now than I was when I did CrossFit before, and like I'm so much better at getting myself up on the bar and just knocking out big chunks of reps. So
Yeah.
definitely beneficial,
Yeah.
100%.
It's kind of hard being in the CrossFit space sometimes, especially as a coach, because I see that like a specific doing an actual just standalone independent strength cycle would benefit so many athletes, but it's like
Hmm.
I can't really be like, hey, you should quit CrossFit and go just do strength.
Stop crossfitting now and go
Yeah.
get strong. Yeah.
But I really like, hey, if you just took like 2 months to go away and just even if you just did bodybuilding, like just get try to get as jacked as possible and come back. I guarantee you'll be in a better place just because building the requisite strength in CrossFit is so hard when you're focusing on everything, right? Because
Oh yeah.
you can't get better at pull-ups when you're doing double unders and burpees and shit like that. But I don't know. Anyway, I have lots of opinions on that, but we don't need to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know a little bit. I definitely know more of your recent stories. So after that, you decided to go back to CrossFit in December, and within I don't know how long, not very long, month or two, you decided to do a Hyrox after
Yeah.
being away from CrossFit for 2 years
Yep. And not running.
and not running at all, just lifting shit. Yeah.
You're like, have you been running? No.
So why? Why did you do that?
It's kind of like this thing I have in me is just like the whole goal thing. And my thing is, if I'm really bad at something, I know the only way I'm going to get good at it is if I do it. So I'm very, it's either all, it's like all or nothing. So, okay, I'm bad at running. What can I do? Let's just do a high rocks. Like, let's just jump in, you know? And that's going to force me to have to go run, 3, 4 days a week and do CrossFit while I'm
Hmm.
on the way to this. And, it only being the 2 months away was probably the the not smart thing. But hey, I I did it and I was consistent with my running and I got so much better and I was able to do the high rocks and I ran the whole thing. And I'm not gonna say fast, but I ran the whole thing and it was great. And it was so much fun. Like such an experience.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's all. And it's just crazy to go from like one thing, just one extreme to the other. Like, screw it.
It's how my ADHD mind works.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of cool though. Like you actually kind of that's how you see your weaknesses because a lot of athletes will see their weaknesses like they constantly get pushed to work on them, and then it just feels like oh, I'm just eating shit sandwiches every day, like working on my
Yeah.
weaknesses. It sucks, but you're just like I suck at it. Let's go. I'm signing up for a test that I'm gonna have to do my homework for, and here it goes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how, I don't know, that's just, it's how my mind works. It's, all
Hmm.
right, well, you already signed up for it and it was X amount of money. It's just like, I don't like spending money, so you better do it. And
True.
yeah, that gets me there. And it's just like my most unliked piece of equipment in CrossFit would be the assault bike. And there was many years that I was like, I'm just not doing it. I'll get on the rower. I'll get on the rower. I don't care. I don't
Hmm.
care. But once I changed my mindset to saying you're bad at this and you're not going to get good at it unless you do it, that's when okay. Anytime there's a calorie, I need to do the bike. I need to
Hmm.
like if you want to get better, you got to do the work. So
I
yeah,
love
that's
I
how.
love that. And you can see like a thread of that attitude kind of through like your whole journey of like, hey, I have a glaring deficiency here. I'm gonna hire the experts. I'm gonna do the things that suck. I'm gonna
Yep.
challenge myself and stupidly sign up for these things that might screw me over, but I'm gonna do the best I can to prepare for it. And like you're kind of just challenging yourself, and I think that kind of
Yeah.
speaks to kind of who you are as an athlete.
Well, and this is the thing too. It's like and I had to get out of the mindset to where it's about others around me. It's not about anybody around you. It's not about that. Like I've read a lot of like CrossFit autobiographies and books and inspirational things and all that fun stuff and like it comes down to every person like Katrin Davis daughter, Tia Claire Toomey. Everybody says once you focus on yourself, once you focus on the best you, that is when you make that next step and that is when you elevate, and that's what I started to do. And so when I do these competitions, when I sign up for these things, I'm not looking at all the other people that are going to be there. I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at, I know I'm going to run my fastest 1,000 meters this round. I know I am my fastest, and that's how I look at it going into it. And every CrossFit workout now, it took me a long time to learn that mindset. By the way, it doesn't just come to you because I'm very competitive. But once I just said, okay, it's about you. I remember the class that I finally got it. I had just finished listening to Katrin's book, Deuter, and I I was in a workout and I think it was cleans. I think it was cleans. But I was like, it's about you. And I just stared at the wall and I just went. And I just kept going. And I kept going and I said, "This is about you. It's not about anybody else. Keep going." And when it started to hurt, "This is you. Keep going. Like you can do it." And it just like the peripheral. You don't see anything in your peripheral. It's just focus on doing the best you can do. And that is what I do now. And it's made a huge impact in everything for me. Like huge.
Dang. Well, maybe that's my problem.
Come on, Steve.
I'm trying.
It's all about you. Be a little selfish sometimes.
Cool. Well, I feel like that's a pretty good spot to end it. But I'm gonna ask you one more question. I
Yeah.
really like this kind of question to finish off the pod. So, if you could go back and give your 2014 self any bit of advice, to prepare themselves for the next 11 years, nutrition advice, let's say, because I feel like
Okay.
there could be lots of other advice as well. Nutrition advice. What would you tell them?
Trust the process. Trust the process. Listen to listen to the coach
Listen to the
and
coach.
trust the process. And and there's so many other things, like you said, you could tell them. It just, you know, you're worth doing this for. Everybody around, you're worth doing this for. It's not about anybody else. It's about you finding your happiness in what you're doing. And nothing else is going to do that except for you. It's got to be you making these smart choices and just putting the work in. And yeah, it's amazing the difference in who I was back then and who I am now.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
we definitely grow over that time.
oh, 100%. And sometimes we just want to like strangle people when they don't understand. You're like, I've been here. I know what you're going through.
That's how you become the villain, Kacie.
I know. But, it just seeing someone struggle and knowing like I know exactly how that is. It's going to be okay though. And we want to help them make those steps go quicker.
Hmm.
Don't take as long as I did, okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, being a parent, I think we're gonna have to deal with that for a while. So buckle in.
Yes, 100%.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you
Yeah,
coming on and sharing your story.
anytime. You know me, I can talk.
Well, we can talk. That's why I'm like, hey, I want to keep this going because we'll be here for hours.
I know, for real.
Cool. Well, we'll be talking. Thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah, no worries, Steve.